Sasha from netbooknews.com, and finally I got it. The new iPad 2, which is based on the new dual-core Apple A5 processor, which should be a Cortex A9, ARM at 1 GHz, and it also comes with a new PowerVR GPU, and Apple promised us to have, that the iPad 2 has like 9 times more graphic performance than the iPad 1. So, talking about an unboxing, let's do this very quickly because there's pretty much nothing inside of here. I already used it for the German unboxing, so you all know this little power cord or USB connector, you know, and there's a PSU, and there's a little quick manual, all the things that you don't need. Well, of course you need this one over here if you want to recharge it. Let's take a look at the new one. It's over here, and what you can immediately see, it's super thin comparing this to the first generation iPad. What a coincidence, I have one. I mean, you can definitely tell the difference, right? Especially in just placing it here on the table. Just to point out this nice little decoration in the background, you can see how slim the new iPad 2 is. It's a huge difference, and also when you're holding it in your hands, well, it is slightly lighter, but I love the way they worked on the edges, because I really had some problems with the first generation. The edges seem to me kind of rough, so I've been mainly using it in a case. But now with the new one, oh my god, it just feels very, very good. And it's flat on the back, so that means it's way easier just to put it on a table, while the first generation, you know, kind of wobbled around when you were pushing the edges. Besides that, what else is new? Of course, we have 2 webcams. One on the front, another one on the back. Don't even ask me about the resolution, but I can tell you one thing. I just did a video today, and I'm going to upload this to YouTube very soon. The rear cam has a quality, well, actually I wouldn't use the term quality when it comes to the pictures or the movie clips that this camera can take. It's just on the same level as my first VGA webcam, like back some 10 years ago. It is just horrible. I'm not getting it why Apple wasn't using a decent camera for it, but you know, on the other hand, somehow I can get it, because who wants to walk around with a kind of 10-inch device and take pictures? It looks ridiculous. Anyways, let's talk a little bit about performance. I just did a JavaScript benchmark. That's the SunSpider. Okay, let's see. Let's go back here. Okay. That should be on another tab. Here we go. So the SunSpider on the original iPad came in at a total of 10,054 milliseconds. Comparing to the new one, we had a result of 2,141 milliseconds. So it's almost like 5 times faster on the SunSpider JavaScript benchmark. Let me show you something else, especially when we're taking a look at some games or some graphic apps. Let's see what we have here. Oh, how about the daily? That's a good one. Now let's take a look at the daily on this one over here. So that one was based on the Apple A4, which is a Cortex A8 processor at 1 GHz. And they really seem to have some problems with the daily interface, especially on my version over here, because it seems to be kind of... here we go. Okay, let's go back. Let me show you the new one first while this one is still loading. So even though I think it's still not perfectly smooth. Let's compare this to the iPad 1. Can you see the difference? I mean, that's huge. Let's open this one over here. Okay, and now let's compare this to the new iPad. Here we go. It just feels very zippy. And this feels kind of outdated, especially because, I mean, it's still a pretty slim and thin tablet if you compare this to a couple of other Android tablets. But yeah, what can I say? It kind of feels a little bit bulky. Okay, let's go back over here before we're listening to the whole show here. I would like to show you a little bit of wait, we have this wheel racing over here. That's also a huge difference. Okay, here's wheel racing HD. Oh, you know what? Let's go back first. Let's start it on this one. Gosh. Okay. I'm starting it. Let's start it here too. Okay, you see it's already... You can tell the difference. Still takes a while on the iPad 1. Now it's even stuttering a little bit. While it was asking me for my Game Center account, which I don't want to use. So, you know what, just to show you a little bit better the differences in the performance, let's head over here and use my new fancy little case, which is using, this cover is using a kind of magnetic mechanism. You can just get it over here on the left side, and it immediately shuts down your iPad 2 into standby mode. As soon as you're opening it, can you see that? Now, it wakes your iPad up. And it's also a little stand. So you can use it this way, or you can use it that way. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, let's get the iPad 1 into my Moshi case, which I really like. I also have to admit that I'm using a non-glossy foil from Moshi on the iPad 1, which really helps when you want to use your iPad in the bright sunlight, because you just can't do it with this glossy screen. I'm still not getting it if they're selling it as a mobile device, but you can actually use it when you are mobile. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can get this on camera. Perfect. Okay, let's close this Twitter message and let's check out our... You know what? Where is it? Here's this wheel racing one. Oops. Wow. That was a demonstration of my folding techniques with the new iPad case. Okay, I guess that's better. How about quick race? Let's use this. Okay. Let's try to catch up. Okay, let's start with the new one first. Oh, maybe I should accelerate. You see there's no stuttering at all, no frame loss. it feels so much faster than on the iPad 1. Okay, let's try the iPad 1. Now take a look at the background. It's definitely a little bit sluggish. You can see that here in the corners when these background graphics are popping up. So that's definitely a difference. Besides that, can't tell you anything about the battery life, even though that Apple told us, of course, you're also getting your 10 hours of battery life from the iPad 2, which I'm definitely not doubting at all. Besides that, I think the way it feels, the way Apple optimized the new iPad 2, I think, even though it's kind of predictable, and this is more like a revolution of the iPad 1. It's not a revolutionary device, not at all. And it's also not a magical device. You know, in my opinion, Apple can finally make it a little bit magical if they wouldn't use kind of pimped up smartphone OS. Because that's what it is. This is something that we know from smartphones. This has nothing to do, well, for me personally, with a tablet operating system. It's not taking any advantage of the additional real estate that we have with these bigger screens. It's not taking advantage of the tablet form factor and the way we are using touch on a bigger screen. So maybe some apps can change this, but I would love to see some development on the iOS side going on. Besides that, I think the iPad 2 is a fantastic device. I really like it. I mean, how thin it is. It's just amazing. It feels very good. The build quality is amazing. Again, this is something, you know, where I can't see any competitor for Apple so far when it comes to product design, when it comes to build quality. I like this little simple things like this cover, right? Even though it's horrible expensive, like $30 or $39, that's amazing. Oh, and by the way, you can also get the iPad 2 in a white version right now. So why did I get the black version again? I tell you what, I have a couple of Android tablets from China with a white frame, and it's just absolutely disturbing to look at it, especially when you're watching a movie and you always have this white frame around this. When you're in a darker room, right, and you can still see this white frame. You don't have these problems with a black frame. And all these people about the white iPad, they will figure this out very soon. Yeah, what else can I say? I really love the second generation of the iPad. I think it's a fantastic device. It's a new benchmark. Now all the Android, WebOS, TabletOS tablets, they have to deliver. They have the technical specifications. Now they need to catch up in terms of product design and finally in terms of infrastructure, because the ecosystem of the iPad 2 is something where I can't see any competitor for the next 2 years when it comes to the quantity of applications, but also the quality. You still can find the best apps on the Apple ecosystem, or in the Apple ecosystem. Plus, they have content. They have movies, they have TV series and whatnot. Now, Android is catching up a little bit. They have a big name like Sony delivering PlayStation titles to the Android platform. So it's going to change a little bit. But, you know, unfortunately, I'm not the biggest Apple fan. I love competition. But it seems that 2011 is going to be another iPad year, even though the market share will drop heavily this year because of all the new Android tablets. So this is a new iPad 2, by the way, 32GB Wi-Fi version. That's the first generation of the iPad. I'm Sascha for netbooknews.com. Thank you so much for watching.